Hey there, my collective people. I want to talk to y'all about something that most people don't even think about while they out driving or they on their way somewhere. Say you on your way to the store, a job interview, a business meeting, a doctor's appointment, wherever you're going. It's something you don't think about. A lot of people don't think about. You never know who you're gonna come across when you out in public. And I know several people this situation has happened to. It's happened to me on two different occasions. And I'm going to tell y'all about those two occasions that it happened to me. But when you out driving, when you're out and about, be careful who you cut off in traffic. Be careful who you yell at, who you curse out. I can understand if somebody did something to you, then we tend to respond the way we feel is best for us in that moment. We don't tend to think clearly. We just get pissed off and we react. But on two different instances, for me, where it's been, people out in traffic, you stuck in traffic, and there's cars trying to get out of gas stations or other businesses, or even maybe people get trying to come out of their own driveway, and you got those people who don't want to let nobody out, like they're gonna miss something, it's gonna stop them from breathing, they're gonna die or something like that if they let one car get in front of them. The zipper method is simple and easy, so everybody can be able to get into the traffic and go and get to where they need to be. But a lot of people don't care. A lot of people are only focused on themselves. Oh, I gotta be somewhere. Forget where they gotta be. It's all about me, 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 me. So I actually know somebody that this happened to, where they were on their way to a job interview, and they was weaving in and out of traffic, driving off fast, weaving in and out of traffic. They cut off somebody in traffic, and then when they cut the person off and the person honked their horn at them, they stuck their hand out of the window and flicked them off. Get to where they going for the job interview. Come to find out, the person that they cut off and flicked off in traffic was the person that was giving them their job interview. Crazy. Imagine how that job interview went. So it's happened to me twice. Once I was going to a job interview, and there was a person trying to get out of a gas station, get into traffic so they can keep going. Nobody was letting them in. Nobody was letting them in. People was blocking the exit to the gas station so they couldn't even get out. All of that. And they sitting there looking like, wow. Like they shaking their head, like they can't believe no one is willing to let them just pull out so they can go on about their day as well. So when I get up there, I go ahead and I wave them out and let them out, and they wave to me and say thank you, and I give them like a thumbs up. So I get to where I'm going for my interview, and I see the person pull in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, we're going to the same place. I'm behind them the whole time now in traffic. They pull in, I pull in behind them. And it's like, wow, we're going to the same place. Okay, no big deal. They park, I park. They see me, like, get out of my car, walk into the building. I get inside, I tell the people who I'm supposed to be interviewing with, and they call me back. So the person who comes to the door to get me, to take me back from my interview, was the person that I let out of the gas station in traffic. She just happened to be the assistant to the manager that was interviewing me. Crazy. I'm sitting there like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's like a big company, so she could have worked anywhere in the building. She could have just been there for an interview herself. I didn't know who she was. I was just letting her out because no one else was letting her come out. And she just happened to end up being the assistant to the person that was doing my interview, to the manager that was interviewing me at that time. Another time that happened to me, um, I was going on my way to the hospital, to the emergency room actually, and I was driving. I drove myself to the emergency room, and cars was just passing by, and there were a couple of people, medical staff, that was trying to cross from the parking lot to get over to the building, and cars was just passing by, wouldn't let them walk by, blah blah blah. So I stopped and I waved them and let them go on by, and they waved and I waved back. Get in there, go to the emergency room. They end up admitting me. Get up to my room. The very next day, the very next day, that morning, the person that comes in was one of the ladies that I let walk through the crosswalk. Ended up being my nurse. Crazy. The day I let her walk by, she worked in a different area. She worked on that same floor, but if you've been to the hospital, you know the bigger the floor, there are multiple nurses stations. So that day that I let her walk by, she was not my nurse. The very next day when she came back to work, she ended up working in the nurses station for my area, and she ended up being my nurse the very next day. And she remembered me. She remembered my car and everything. And she was just like, "Oh, thank you." And she ended up being a sweet and wonderful nurse. But it's just crazy. You never know who you're going to come across. You never know who you're giving the opportunity to let out in traffic. You never know who you're stopping to give the opportunity just so they can cross the street. You never know the people you may help when you see somebody, cars not running, and they're trying to push their car out of the road, and you get out, you decide whether or not you're going to get out to help. If you do get out and help, you never know who that person is or who that person may know. We have to stop focusing on just us, on what we want, on not doing things for others because it don't affect us. Because we never know what great people we may meet that can help further our careers, that can help further our entrepreneurial opportunities, that can just help us better our lives in general. I ended up with a great nurse, and I ended up getting that job that I interviewed for. Now, is if whether or not the assistant went and told that manager what had happened, I don't know. Either way, she remembered who I was. When she called me back from my interview, she said hello to me. She said thank you for letting her out. That nurse knew who I was, but I could have been just as rude as all the other people and not letting them cross. But because I did, she was happy to see me when she came into my room. She said thank you to me again, and she treated me great during the time that she was my nurse. So you just never know who you're helping, who you're coming across, the people you may talk to. Everybody isn't going to be kind to you because you do something kind to them or for them. But there are some people out there that you're going to come in contact with that you're going to be surprised how wonderfully they'll treat you just because you did something small for them. It's not just about you, it's about all of us. And the small things we do can affect someone's life very, very hugely. So stop just focusing on you and think about others as well, because you never know when you could be in that situation. And always, my collective people, remember to be knowledgeable. Thank you for watching.